Okay, so first off, I keep knocking myself on the fairy lights because these are like head height and they're trapped in my hair and it's itchy. Okay, so first manga series we have got Royal Tutor 1 to 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 14 and 16. So this is not complete, it is complete at 17 volumes. I have like, I'm over halfway there, which is nice. A number of these I've picked up secondhand. They pop up in sale sections every now and again. It doesn't seem to be the most popular of series. I quite like it. It's about this tutor who's been hired to tutor the princes of this kingdom, and I think there's 4 or 5 of them, and they all have different personality traits, but they're all of them are against learning basically, and he tries to find different ways to encourage them to learn and enjoy it. It's a pleasant read. It's fine. Slice of lifey. Rosie in the Labyrinth 1 to 3. That is complete. I'm fairly sure I got I got at least the second one on sale. I probably got the third one as well. It was a cute fantasy series about this girl who lives in this labyrinth with these cat boys. I think are they all cat people? Maybe, because there's cat ears on the title. And it's like a silly little short mystery. So far was okay. Again, it was fine, but it's complete at 3. Pops up secondhand quite often. Then we have Run Away With Me Girl Volume 1. I am behind on this. I believe it is a GL. I haven't picked any more up yet because it was a bit pricey and I wasn't sure if I was interested enough to get more just yet. Then we have Run On Your New Legs 3. I can't actually remember where I got this. It's the only one I have. I believe it's complete at 5 volumes, but as I don't have any others, I haven't started reading it yet. Then we have Rurouni Kenshin. Now, I didn't really know what to do with these volumes. I bought these second-hand, or I bought them in a sale section, sorry, at £4 each. They don't really want to talk about that much. I bought them quite a while ago, and they have been in a stack for a while. The manga artist is a terrible, terrible person. I know some of you are like, separate the art from the artist. To a point, I sometimes agree, but when you've done the sort of things that he's done, no. So I'm just going to move on from that. I don't know what I'll do with the series. I don't know if I'll try... If I pick up more, it'll be secondhand. I will never buy these new, ever. Next we have Ruby, which is apparently how you pronounce it. Ruby 1 to 4. I believe there is a 5. Yuna climbed up the steps and was crawling between my legs, damn it, cat. There is a 5, and I don't know if it completes at 5, but I am behind. I haven't started reading them. It took ages to find 3. 3 was a right tricky one to find. Then we have Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts 1 to 9, 11, 13, 14, and 15. Nah, so that is almost complete. I think it's just 10 and 12 that I need, and it's complete at 15. Lot of hype for this series. It had an anime. It's done very well. Lots of people have said positive things. I really like the spines, and that was initially why I started to pick the series up. I'm a bit bummed that we went from these like darker tones and we sort of switched to some light tones and then a few more darker tones. I don't feel like they really match that much, which makes me sad. Maybe even if we just done it more gradually than just going from this to boom. Especially because on the spines we jumped between white lettering and black lettering. I haven't started reading it. I only managed to get a few of the earlier volumes earlier this year. Actually, quite a few of these might have been picked up this year. Yeah, I just need to find 10 and 12. I do see 10 about, but it's like over retail when I've seen it, which means it probably is in need of a reprint. Then we have Saga, Tanya the Evil, 1 to 7, 11, 13, 15, 16, 18, 19. So I'm behind. I have gaps in this. At least 20 or 21 of this is out. It is an isekai. It's a popular isekai. It is a bit more slightly darker. It's a salaryman has been reincarnated during a war, but magic is a thing during this war, and he is a young girl called Tanya, and he was sort of a ruthless salaryman who was like manager, gross, didn't care about people, cared about the money, all that jazz, all the company doing well and that, and he sort of carried that over to his evil little girl in this war. I haven't read too far into the manga. I actually mostly picked it up / started watching a little bit of the anime because I really wanted to watch Isekai Quartet, and it was the only isekai out of the set in Isekai Quartet that I hadn't seen or read, but I do need to catch up on that. And we have Saigami 1 and 2. I think I'm behind on this now. It's another non-Japanese manga, I want to say. I hear it might actually be an isekai, so I really should read that one. It is Sailor Moon 1 to 12, and that is complete. This was a little faffy to gather this format, because Sailor Moon has had a few different reprints, but in different forms, like omnis, hardbacks, or like 1.5 in ones. But this was the edition I wanted because I prefer singles over any kind of format. This one I managed to get in German, so I do have a German copy next door. I don't know what to do with. Weirdly, some of the later volumes were a bit easier than like middle of the series. I have read the first one. I feel like I do want to read it because it's such a classic series. But when I read this one a couple of years ago, I feel like I've just read it too late in life because I just found it really like a bit cringy personally. And I'm sorry to all the Sailor Moon fans, but I think maybe just because I didn't read it till I was like 25, 24, and it's just, I'd have enjoyed it more when I was younger. Like, I like Cardcaptor Sakura, and to be fair, that's probably just as cheesy as Sailor Moon, but because I watched it when I was a kid, I've got that nostalgia. I don't know. Then we have Saint Seiya Show 1, 7 and 13. I think the only one I've managed to grab this year is this one from all the books. Bit of a harder series to find. Most of these I got in HMV for $4.99. It was nice to get a clear run. I don't know if I'll manage to find the rest of them. Maybe I should check Sci-Fi. And we have Saint. No, I'm just a passing beast tamer. One volume. Do think another one came for Christmas. This is New Sky. It's about a girl who really loves pets. Unfortunately, she was really sick and spent her life in hospital, unable to be near pets due to her illness. And when she is isekai'd into this world and is like super powered. Everyone's like, you're going to be the saint, you're going to be the most powerful one there is. But all she cares about is having pets and being a beast tamer. So she goes to this big ceremony where they sort of decide what your class is going to be for life, and she's got all the options including saint, and everyone's like, yes, we've finally got saint, it's going to be okay. And she chooses beast tamer. And everyone's like, wait, what now? And then she immediately runs out of the ceremony into the forest to try and find a pet. It is very cute. I liked it. It's not a most intense isekai, but it's a pleasant isekai, which sometimes is all you need. Saint Young Men 1 to 9. Now, I might be behind on this. 10 might now be out. It was a bit weird. They seem to be releasing a volume like every few months, but now I think we're caught up with what's out in Japan. I do really quite like the hardcover. Now, I'm not a fan of hardcovers because I find them harder to read, and they are a bit harder to read, but I do quite like how these look. So this series follows Jesus and Buddha, who have rented an apartment in Japan and are just sort of living life casually. Yeah, I think it's to celebrate the 2000s or something. I can't remember. It doesn't say on the back of that, but yeah, they're just sort of celebrating looking after humanity for a few millennia, and so just rent an apartment and live together. It's really quite interesting. So because I am not religious myself, I think me saying whether or not this could potentially be off-putting or potentially bother anyone who is religious, I don't feel like I can say that because I don't know, because I'm not. But I would say potentially have a look into it if you find it interesting. For the most part, it is quite light-hearted and pleasant, and at the end of every chapter there's a whole like couple of pages where they explain every reference during that chapter. So we have a whole bunch of translation notes at the end of every chapter, not just at the end of the volume, every chapter that talks about different religious references from the religions throughout it, which has also been quite interesting to read. So yeah, I think I quite like it. It's interesting. It's also it's a bit of a heavy read because, as I said, all those references, it's a lot of reading, it's a lot of taking in, but it's quite interesting. Now I have to move the sack. Oh god. Next we have Saint's Magic Powers Omnipotent 1-7 and Saint's Magic Powers Omnipotent The Other Saint 1 and 2. I really like the main series, absolutely would recommend, especially as an isekai with a female lead. So what happens at the beginning is two women have been isekai'd, including this character here. Unfortunately, they've both been isekai'd, and the prince of this kingdom they've been isekai'd to runs up to the other girl and it's like, it's so nice to meet you, Saint, I'm so happy you're here, let's go. And kind of just leaves this poor woman sat on the floor in this room like, what the hell just happened? But with everyone being all up in the other saint, she kind of just sort of gets left behind. She can't go home, and they don't know what to do with her. At first, they just sort of keep her in a room, and then she's like, I need to go and do some walking, I need to do something. Eventually, she ends up joining, like, I've forgotten the word, people who look after plants and make potions. Apothecarists? Apothecary? I don't think that's the right word. I've forgotten though. There's like a place for people that make potions on site on the grounds. And she ends up working there. And actually she's very good at producing them, at these potions. Like really good. She produces very high level potions. Very high level. And then it starts to, is there more than meets the eye? Which is quite interesting. And I do think it just gets better and better the further in we go. So the other saint follows the other girl that is isekai with her. To comfortably read this though, to start this volume, you probably need to have read at least to volume 5, I think, or volume 6. And what really peed me off was volume 2 actually goes way past this volume. So I, halfway through, was fine, and then it started being like, I'm not sure if I remember this happening in the main series. And then I went and checked, and no, it goes past this volume. So I stopped reading this, because it had, spoilers. Really irks me when isekai, well, when any series does it, but predominantly isekai for me, when you don't know when to read the spin-offs, or what volumes of the main series you need to have gotten to be able to read the spin-offs. I wish there was a guide or something, because the number of isekai spin-offs where I just have to like wait till I'm a good like 5-6 volumes further along in the English before I can comfortably read the damn. Anywho, I do like it, I would recommend. There is also a light novel. Is there an anime? I'm not sure. Sakamoto Days 1-9, that is up to date, because I got some Christmas. This has been an excellent new Shonen Jump series. I have read the first 4. I am behind on being up to date with this series. It is a guy who was a very, very well-known assassin, and he fell in love, got married, and retired. And it's about things sort of coming back from the past, and he's just trying to live a quiet life with his wife and his child and run a convenience store. It's been mostly it. It's a very fun read. I do enjoy it. I do just need to catch up. Sakura Hime, The Legend of Princess Sakura. 1-3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 11. I think the series might be complete at 12, so I'm missing 4, 10, and 12. It is a pain to find these series. This has been predominantly World of Books, but often I find the covers or ISBNs are incorrect, so trying to find the last ones that I need is super painful. I think the spines are super pretty. I really, really like this like background colouring and stuff, and also the backgrounds, the back covers are so nice. I love them. That's slightly the reason I picked them up. Also, I think I managed to get most of them for like £3, £4 or less. Sakurai-san Wants to Be Noticed 1 and 3. I have no idea why I ordered volume 3 when I didn't have volume 2. Absolutely no idea. I've not read it either. I believe it's a short series, but I haven't read it. I don't know anything more about it. Saki the Succubus Hungers Tonight 1-5. That is complete. It is a short, ecchi series about a succubus who is a bit shit, and she is supposed to survive on male juices, but is too shy to do so. So yeah, ends up living with a like 30-year-old guy with no experience or something, and it's just sort of a really weird, they're living together and both too awkward, and then it gets real weird in the last volume. Real weird. So it's like almost cute in like ecchi levels. It's cute, but it's still a bit weird. But it's complete at 5. Next we have Samurai 8 1-5. That is complete. It's the same manga artist as Naruto. I've read the first volume and I got a bit bored. I believe it actually got cancelled, and that's why there's only 5 volumes, which is a shame. But I mean, from what I've read so far, wasn't very impressed. So Sasuke and Peeps 1 and 2. I have not read either. Apparently it's an isekai. I got confused for a moment because I was looking at the spine going, it's the same picture on the spine. Why is it the same picture on the spine? Have I got a duplicate? And then at the top it says 1 and 2. So no, That's so weird. I believe it might be a reverse isekai, because I think people are isekai'd, or something is isekai'd to like modern day Japan, but I haven't read it yet to be sure. I did get some light novels for Ben of this for Christmas. Next we have Saving 80,000 Gold in Another World for My Retirement 1 and 2. So actually, I found this quite an interesting isekai. I found it was a bit different to some of the other sorts that I've read. So basically, this girl has, through a series of unfortunate accidents, become both an orphan and lost her sibling. Fairy lights! There we go. Yeah, so she's kind of on her own, and through a incident, she falls off down a drop when in theory she shouldn't survive. However, she is isekai'd to another world. Now, through a few happenings, what she is able to cross between the other world and Earth. She's able to go back and forth, and what she decides to do is take items from our world and the other world and sell them in the other one to make a whole bunch of money and to be able to retire early. And she roughly works out she needs about 80,000 gold to be able to retire, which is hence the premise of the name. Weirdly, one of the main things she decides to take from Earth to sell in the other world is weaponry and guns. Apparently, was it her brother was big into guns, so she weirdly has kind of a collection of them. That bit's a bit strange, but otherwise, I think the whole like selling stuff between worlds is kind of neat, and it's like, well, yeah, actually, why not? And also being able to go back and forth. There haven't been too many isekais where you can do that regularly, easily. I think I enjoyed it. It was a bit weird, but I think I did like it. I think 3 is out, otherwise there isn't too much out. Okay, last volume series down here, is Saviour's Book Cafe in Another World 1-5. That is complete. I love the series a lot. It's one of my favourite isekai. I will always recommend this series. And it's just, this is like cozy, cute vibes in a series. Honestly, it is about this woman who is in her 30s, has been isekai'd to another world, because there has already been someone isekai to this world to help be the saviour. However, they're not doing a very good job. So unfortunately, they have had to send someone else, and they send this character. Now, they're like, we can give you an ability, and she's no idiot. She is like, I want all these precise, specific things. She starts listing them out, to the point that the god thing starts to get a little bit annoyed when she's listing everything she wants to be able to do. Basically, she's like, well, unless I'm really needed, I just want to live a quiet life in a cozy kingdom with a book cafe and to not have to worry about anything, really. And that's exactly what happened. She ends up in the snowy kingdom with a book cafe, and yeah, it's super adorable. The vibes are vibing. She doesn't really have many people coming by, but she's not that bothered, really. And then one day this guy starts coming by, and he is captain of the knights, and he enjoys reading, and it's so darn adorable and cute. So I love it so much. I've seen so many people read it, so many people that I know I had previously seen say they didn't like isekai because like all isekai is the same, and then they'd read this and be like, I love this is the exception. It's like, this is the beginning of the exception. There's so much out there. But I'm just so happy to see how many people have loved isekai, loved this series. Always would recommend this. Love it. Even Ben liked it. There is apparently a light novel, but I don't believe it had an English print, unfortunately. And yeah, it is complete of 5 volumes. I personally think, so the first arc kind of wraps in the first 2 volumes, and then we've kind of got another arc in the final 3. Personally, I think I'd have rathered we had one long arc, because it's quite a short series. The end of volume 2 was a bit whiplashy with how much like information they suddenly threw at you. I wish we'd had one long arc instead of 2 split arcs with that weird volume 2 stuff. Anywho, I'd still recommend, still love it. Isekai, yeah. We have Say I Love You 1-18. That is complete. Say I Love You is, I think, the first shoujo series that I really consumed. I watched some of the anime whilst I was at uni, and I really enjoyed it, and it was a shame that it ended so quickly and randomly. And then I looked at the manga, and yeah, it's quite long. I have only read to about here-ish before I hit a blocker. I was missing a volume. What I really like though is I'm fairly sure it's a series that actually follows the couple even outside, like post-school. Like seeing them going into the real world together. So I'm really looking forward to that. I do need to finish this. I don't know if it's trickier to find, but most of my volumes from like here on, I think I found secondhand, or a good number of them I ended up finding secondhand. Sayonara Football 1, and yeah, I've got it on sale, probably $4.99 in Forbidden Planet. I'd seen a few people talk about this on Instagram a few times, and I'd be interested in picking it up. Just found it a bit trickier to find for a decent price, so seeing it in the sale section, I grabbed it. But I haven't read it and I haven't gotten any more yet. Sayonara Game is technically, it's not quite a one-shot because there are some other manga volumes in the same series, they just have different titles. I haven't read this one yet though. I don't know if I should put them together. I'm not sure. And we have Scarlet 1 and 2, which is complete. This is a like Vampire Hunter GL series. It is plastic wrapped. It's also not very good. It's probably just it's probably one of the more bad series that I've ever read. It's just terrible, and it rushes. Like the ending comes out of nowhere and suddenly happens. It's so weird and bad. I cannot recommend it. Scattering His Virgin Bloom 2-volume BL. This one was okay. It is a Omegaverse story. Final volume. I think it's actually been one of my more favoured Sublime series, weirdly enough. Volume 1 I think I found really weird, and then Volume 2 I think I enjoyed more. I don't know what it says about me. I don't know why I enjoyed it. A Skull Frozen in Time 1-4, that is complete. A lot of people really like this series. I actually wasn't much of a fan. It is, you know what, I really love the covers. I think these are very pretty. I unfortunately don't think the artwork on the inside reflects it as well. It feels a bit more clunky. I wasn't massive on the story. It's kind of a mystery. These students in the school have become trapped in the school for some reason, and they're trying to figure out what's happening. They think that a student's potentially missing from the group and they can't remember who, and they're kind of trying to remember who, but then if you do remember, something weird happens. I like that it wasn't very long. I don't think it's necessarily like bad. I just didn't enjoy it myself personally. School Rumble 1-5-7-8. This is an out of print series. I don't even know if it finished printing in English. These are all secondhand. I started watching some of the anime worlds at uni and I was like, let's grab some of the manga. And yeah, then I got stuck. I believe it's like a love triangle thing at school. She loves this like very popular guy, and then there's this gang fellow who loves her. And it's a comedy. It's silly, lighthearted. Not that I've really gotten that far in because I just watched a few episodes of the anime, and then, well, obviously I don't have any of the volumes, which is a shame. I don't even know if that, like, for some reason it did manage to get reprinted. Who would pick it up, considering Del Rey's not a thing anymore? Then we have Scram Blues, which is a one-shot from Tokyo Pop. I haven't read it. I think it's a BL though. Scumbag Loser, this is like an omnibus. I think a lot of people in the UK picked this up because it was on sale in HMV for like, as quite a good price for a chunky yen press. I haven't read it. It's plastic wrapped. I'm a little nervous too. I saw some people say it made them uncomfortable. We'll see. Seaside Stranger, Volume 1. Picked this up second hand, I think. I haven't read it yet. There's quite a few. I'm quite behind on this. I think there's like 5 or something out at the moment. Secret XXX. I think it might be a one-shot, or it might be part of another series and it's like a prequel or a sequel at some point. I haven't read it yet. See You Tomorrow at the Food Court is a one-shot. I really like this one quite a lot. It was quite lovely and wholesome. I don't know if this is one of the series that, due to popular demand, might get some more chapters. It would be lovely if it did. It's about 2 unlikely friends who nowadays go to different schools, but they went to school together when they were younger, and on the way home from school they meet up at a local food court and just spend some time together. I went in thinking it was a GL because a lot of people had said it was a GL, but it isn't. It's just friendship. It's just 2 girls who are friends and meet up and spend time together. Which I feel is almost unfortunate, the number of people who did paint that out to be a GL because of that, and it's like, can they not just be friends? There's maybe one scene towards the end where, slight spoiler I suppose, one of them's trying to spook off a guy and they pretend they're dating, so he'll go away. It's very cute. They're just sort of short one-stop chapters. It's quite cute and lovely, and they're just really supportive of each other, even though they also have different interests, but they're just good friends. Sensei's Pious Lie 1 to 4. I have read the first one. I got these two on sale, as you can see. In fact, when I last went to Forbidden Planet in Leeds, they still had some of this series on sale. It might have even been cheaper than £11 at that point. Considering its RRP is over £20, that's quite good. It was a very disturbing series, volume 1 at least, about a woman who's a teacher, has some secrets, and a student also has secrets, and they kind of find each other's secrets out, I think, or they start to rely on each other. I'm not too sure. It was a weirdly, I feel, compelling read, but it wasn't nice. That makes sense. I do want to finish it though. It's complete at 4, if I've not said that already. Sengoku Yoko 1. Got this on sale in Forbidden Planet. Actually, a friend of mine had been recommending this series and was really surprised when I said I'm fairly sure it's got an English print rather recently. It's a long series. It's like late double digits, I want to say. I don't know what it's about, but usually when I recommend something, it turns out to be decent. Not that I'd ever say that to his face. Next, we have Semeltharos 1 to 3. I think that's complete. Not complete, sorry. I think that's up to date, sorry. Plus, you're at GL. I've not read it. I don't know what it's about. Next, we have Seraph the End 1 to 27. That is complete. I think I have 28 downstairs. Up to complete. Oh, I'm mixing up all my words. Up to date. Goodness me. For some reason, all grown-ups have died, and vampires are now slightly ruling the world, and kids are now trying to take down the vampires or fight back. Kind of the premise. Except for some reason, and they've got these big powerful weapons that they can kind of grow accustomed to using or something, and they can fight with them, and they're overpowered, and there's some really neat fight scenes. I've not read past, I think, volume 10. I have a bit of a love-hate feel for the series, not because of the series itself, but because I was so engrossed reading volume 10, I missed my train for work, and I was very late, and I got into trouble for it, and I weirdly hold Seraph the End at fault for that. So I have started to stay up to date with it, just in general with Viz, that's kind of my go-to, but I've still not managed to get over my anger to continue reading it yet. I do like the spines, I like the green with the black. 7 Days, Monday to Sunday, a BL, I think Omni. I think this is actually 2 volumes in 1. I haven't read it. Apparently it's meant to be wholesome, from what I've heard. And then I've just got random snacks for myself and the cats hiding on the shelves. Then we have 7 Deadly Sins. So we have 1 to 37 and 39 to 41. So I am only missing 38 of 7 Deadly Sins, and what I'm really, really proud of with 7 Deadly Sins is this entire series was pretty much bought all secondhand. This entire series is secondhand, apart from maybe volume 1 and maybe 1 or 2 others. The rest has been bought hodgepodge over, I think, 3 years now. All secondhand for like £5 or less, £5.50 or less. And I'm just so pleased with myself, especially 40 plus volumes, managing to get all the gaps, getting them randomly here and there, and yeah. There's a few a bit more battered than others, like this volume, but otherwise, a good number of these are in pretty good condition. I'm very happy. So when people say, how did you manage to find a full set of 7 Deadly Sins secondhand? It's like, no, it took me 4 years. 4 years, at least. We're constantly getting little bits, volumes here and there, but it adds up. And you end up with, almost the full mural, apart from just the 1 volume. Secretly, I've been suffering about being sexless, which is a one-shot. I haven't read it. I think I got it second-hand yet. There are a whole bunch of these sort of one-shots I want to try and go through, but I feel like I need to be in the right mental state for it. Then we have Sex Ed 120, 1-3. That is complete. This, I feel like, almost should be mandatory reading for some people. I swear, I am so concerned at some of the things I see people talk about in regards to sexual education. There are very few countries I feel that do sexual education well, and I'm quite surprised at how interesting this is. It talks a whole bunch about not just like actual like sexual education, it talks a whole lot about consent and sexuality as well, not just like literal physical sexual education. It talks about talking to people about your sexuality and stuff, and how to have good communication between couples and such like that. And I would really recommend it. The only problem is it is quite pricey. It's very thin, it's gem press. They do tend to pop up on sale. I don't think it's the most popular. I think people, because it is plastic wrapped, because technically it has sexual content, but it isn't like, it's not like that kind of sexual content. It's like, they'll be like, oh, and this is how you'd put a condom. Here are the different forms of contraception. Here's a female condom. Here's what a dental dam is. Those kind of things. And because of that, I think it means it gets plastic wrapped. But I very much am always going to try and recommend this series to people, especially potentially. I think it can be quite enlightening. And I know some people are really like, oh, well, I knew all that. It's great. Someone might not though, and it might just help someone one day. And that's if reading this can help you. Excellent. Right, next we have Shadow's House 1 to 4, another one I'm like up to date with. I really, really want to read more. I've not read very far in, and it's been mostly like set up, and it's been a bit spooky. Apparently it does start to establish more of a story the further in you go, but I've just not reached that far yet. So it's set in this like manor house, which is filled with these like sooty people, and they're sort of constantly dropping soot, making a bit of a mess, and there's all of these like mirror versions of them that are kind of, they call them like dolls or something, and they're kind of like their maid, their servant, personal maid servant, and they clean up after them, look after them, and sort of do the rooney. It's just a bit weird. It's kind of interesting. Where's it going to go? It's a very odd sort of story, but the covers are very, very pretty. So I do look forward to more. As we have Shangri-La Frontier 1 to 7, I am now behind. I want to say like 9 volumes of this are out now. It is an isekai, it is a video game isekai, and I know some people like to say video game isekai isn't really isekai. Those people are wrong. Why does it matter? Virtual World still counts as isekai. Is a guy who really likes playing shit games and ends up playing one of a really critically acclaimed game. He's like, I'll play a good game, see how it is. Now, because he's gained all these skills from playing shit games and having to work around bugs and errors and stuff, he's actually really, really good at this. And it's really fun. You get stats, you get quests, you got towns, maps, items, all that sort of dealy-rooney. It's really fun. I really like it. I need to catch up and get the volumes that I need. We're starting to get some story about what is Shangri-La, what is happening, what are some of the weird quests, one-off quests and stuff. I know also you might look at that and go, oh, it's a bit creepy, but he's only wearing a mask. He's wearing a bird mask to hide his face. That's basically what it is. It's not actually a birdman. But he might as well be, to be fair. But that's what that is. She professed herself pupil of the wise men, 1 to 4. Probably behind on this now. It was a very okay isekai. What I think didn't help was, for some reason, and maybe you're just trying to decide if it was interesting or not, they squeezed the entire first light novel into the first manga volume. Normally they'll do 2 or 3 manga volumes per light novel, so doing 1 in 1 was just too much. Just too much. It's about a guy who plays a video game, and in the video game he plays a wise man who's like a very special, overpowered character. He's like on a council, on a group of very powerful characters. He decides for funsies to try changing his look in the mirror. I don't know exactly what it's called. Like in 14, it's like when you have a Final Fantasy 14, when you drink a Fantasia and you can change what your character looks like. Basically did that and tried to make himself look like a young girl and see what happens. For some reason he gets stuck, and also he seems to have been stuck in the game. So he's now a young girl, and he can't say, oh, I'm the old man, I've just changed how I look, because that's just not a thing in like the actual in-game lore. So what he just says is, oh, I'm the pupil of the wise old man. He's buggered off for a bit. I'm just his pupil, and they can prove that they can perform the same magic as the old man. So they kind of just accept that, yeah, actually, they are a pupil of the man. But it's okay. I'm hoping it improves now that they've can space story out though. Cheaply Horned Witch Rummy, 1 volume. I do actually think volume 2 might be out now, but it's taken like a year or so. This is sort of a creepy mystery, slightly horror-y series where for some reason in this school everyone has fallen asleep apart from these two. He hasn't really got a clue what's going on, and she's able to produce this like sheepy fluffiness to keep these enemies outside the school at bay. But then, yeah, outside the school seems to be this like wave of darkness that's slowly starting to descend in on the school. It's a bit weird. I wasn't that much of a fan. I found it a bit creepy for me. I will still probably get the next volume. I think it actually is a short series. Just it seems to have a very long release schedule. Shikimori's not just a cutie, 3, 5, 7, and 8, and my 3 is rather battered. That is a definite secondhand copy, unfortunately. I hear that, I think, based on what I've read, it's definitely a series I would enjoy. I just need to try and track down more volumes. I see them pop up secondhand fairly regularly, so I've kind of just been holding out for that. It is somewhere in the double digits now, so I'm quite behind, unfortunately. Shibaban Super Cute Doggies, and this is a one-shot, and it is a 4-coma silliness about doggies. And I absolutely adored it. I think it's wonderful. I thought it was cute. It made me laugh. I loved it. However, it is very expensive. It is, I mean, yeah, you can see all the different stories. That's how many there are, because it's just one a page, basically. And the doggies are so cute, and it's so lovely to read. I'm not much of a dog person, but I don't think that matters. I thought this was lovely and great. See, I would recommend it. I would say at $13.99, I think its RRP was. I don't know if I can recommend paying that sort of price, but it is absolutely adorable, and I would recommend. I loved it. I really, really loved it so much. Especially if you're dog, especially if you're into super cute doggies. Just please don't pay anywhere near RRP, please. Next we have Shiroi's Diary 1-3. That is complete. It is not one of my favourite series. I kind of kept going through the series hoping for one thing, expecting one thing, and it turns out I was right. It's about a woman who is married, and she finds her husband's diary detailing very explicit affairs, and she decides, well, if he's going to have an affair, I'm going to have an affair, and then start sleeping with a multitude of random men. Basically. Yeah, that's pretty fair. Most of the series, and we get a conclusion in the third one, and I did not like how it concluded. I did not like it. Shiyunji Family Children, Volume 1. This was given to me by Yen Press. This is a fairly recent release. It's the same mangaka as Rent a Girlfriend, and I did not enjoy this one either. I cannot believe how much I'm already seeing it on sale on places. I don't know if that says something about the series. I've seen it in sale sections, I've seen it discounted online in like 3 different online stores. Basically, this group of children, I think there's 7 of them, have grown up believing they're siblings, only to be told that they're not siblings, they're actually all adopted. They're all varying ages, I believe, from like 18 or 20 all the way down to 15, I want to say. I think 2 of them are related. I think these 2 might be twins. And this one's a guy, and this is the other guy. So 2 guys, 5 girls, and these 2 are twins. And personally, it only felt like they did that so they could still have a guy around, but by making him an actual sibling to one of the girls, it kind of makes him off limits. Because basically, as soon as they're informed, oh yeah, you're not actually related, it sort of turns into this weird, well, if we're not related, it's okay if we date, right? And it's like, no, it's not. What is wrong with you? Why? Slightly, all the girls are the ones that are mostly initiating it, but he's not, like, doing enough to stop it, and all the girls, what? It was just a bit gross to read, to be honest. A bit gross. I'd actually heard some things about the series ahead of it getting an English release, and I think a lot of people were quite surprised it got an English release. I don't know if it's called Rent a Girlfriend. Maybe Rent a Girlfriend sells really well, because we've got some real degenerates who buy it, but I'm not a fan. It just felt weird. Oh dear. Then we have Shonen Note 1 and 2. I am not up to date and I haven't yet read it. I managed to get the second one secondhand for like £4. So happy. Shortcake Cake 1-12. That is complete. I feel like my opinion on Shortcake Cake is slightly controversial. I started the series and I really liked it. And then about halfway through, due to some things that happen, I feel like my opinion did a complete 180 and I really dislike the series. I dislike what they did. So it feels like one of the characters was done dirty and I didn't like how it was handled, and it generally just put a sour taste in my mouth for the rest of the series, unfortunately. I did kind of like the ending, and the epilogue was pretty neat. For the most part, yeah. The bit that happened in the middle really bummed me out, and I don't want to spoil it because it's like halfway through the series. If people are really interested in my spoilers, shout at me in the Discord, but otherwise, I was so bummed. Then we have Shoujo 1 to 3, probably, I think, up to date. I think we've got a while till the fourth one comes out. This is a comedy series about two kids who want to hit the world of Japanese stand-up by storm. And I think so far I have found it interesting, and I find like the sort of process and following how they join stand-up shows interesting. I think what I found difficult is the Japanese jokes. The sense of humour just doesn't do it for me. It's just not my kind of thing. I very much enjoy self-deprecating British humour, unsurprisingly. And the jokes and the comedy side of it in itself hasn't done it for me. I think I've enjoyed the rest of it. I've found it interesting seeing that side of things. I think I've mostly been negative about the series before because I'm like, I don't find it funny. But I think there is still parts of it I do enjoy. SHWD, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but it stands for Special Hazardous Waste Disposal. This is, I think only volume 1 is out. I don't even know if there is a volume 2. I don't know what's happened to it. I cannot get over her bosom. I don't know what's happening to her bosom in the cover, but that's crazy. This is a GL. It's actually vaguely similar-ish, I want to say, to like Kaiju number 8, in that these monsters are sort of taking over, and there are special squads that go out and clear up and get rid of them and clean up after them. I wasn't much of a fan. I thought it was okay. I wasn't blown away by it, which is a shame because I'd seen a few good positive reviews, but I just thought it was okay. I managed to get it on sale, which was nice, I guess. And we have Shy 1 to 3, and I have some more downstairs. Shy, I did actually manage to read volume 1 recently. A lot of people have described it as similar to My Hero Academia. I assume only because it has people with superpowers in. In this series, there is only one person with powers per country, and they kind of represent the country. And they all have different kinds of powers, they have different names, and the hero for Japan is called Shy because she's very shy, I guess. They do kind of have secret identity. She doesn't look anything like this when she's not in her super power ability stuff. And she has like these bracelets that she has to hit together, and then she wears her outfit and she can try and save people, but she's still a bit nervous. She's trying to get used to it, get better at the job. I think we've also got the Russian hero. Is that the US hero? Not sure which that one is. And the British hero. I like that the British hero is like a rock star, which amuses me. I think it was okay. I think I need to read more. I think it's a shame that any superhero-y manga just sort of is getting it's kind of like My Hero Academia, but I suppose My Hero Academia is such a well-known, popular one. It's, I guess, easier to liken it to that than anything, I guess. As we have Sign of Affection 1 to 7 that is up to date. It is a real shame. This is the same mangaka as Shortcake Cake, and until only a few months ago, I was able to have both series next to each other until I got these 3 series which now go in between them. Just quickly checking the alphabet to make sure they did. I love the spines on these. Before we even talk about the series, let's just talk about the rainbow spines and the gradient that we've got. I've seen pictures of later volume spines and we seem to be getting a full rainbow, and then what we seem to be doing is going back to pink. I was like, how are they going to do it? Are we going to go backwards? Are we just going to continue on? Is it going to stop as soon as we've done a rainbow? No, it looks like we're just going to go back to the beginning and continue some form of pink. Saying that, I don't know what will happen post-pink, but hey-ho. I am actually quite upset because I did slightly water damage my volume 7. I still don't even know what I did. I need to flatten it really, put it under something heavy. But it was the corner of this and one other volume got a bit wet. I don't even know how. I don't even know how it managed it, because nothing else did, and they were in a stack. And they weren't near anything wet. It's really unfortunate. But hey ho, it happens. I've still not actually read my volume 7, I am behind. I like Sign of Affection. Sign of Affection is adorable, it is cute. I think sometimes I just need to be in the right mindset. If I want to read something and I'm not in the mood for something chill, reading this, I do find it can get a bit dull. But if I'm in the mindset for something wholesome and adorable, it is lovely to read and I love it. What I'm basically saying is I'm a real mood reader, and I do have to make sure I'm in the mood to read this, otherwise I can unfairly be negative about it. The basic premise is this girl is deaf and he is interested in her, this guy that she meets on the train. And yeah, mostly it. I really like how they try to represent her hearing through to the reader. So like we're reading the story from her perspective, because sometimes when someone says something, because she can't hear, she does rely on, say, reading lips or messages or something, and quite often, I'm not going to be able to find one now, am I? Quite often, to sort of represent she doesn't quite read their lips accurately, they'll like grey out the speech bubble a little bit, or they'll put some words in the wrong place, or they'll turn letters around. And I think that's just really neat, because like as a reader we're also experiencing the same mild confusion that she's experiencing through but they're demonstrating that through written word over what I just think it's quite neat. I think it's a really interesting concept and way of doing it, and I'm here for it. Also, in one volume they go to Costco and excellent. An anime has started airing, and we were meant to do a watch party in the Discord. I just need to sort a day out for doing that, but I feel like a lot of people have already now watched it. I feel really guilty about it. As we have Silent Voice 1-7, that is complete. Finally got the last volume I needed this year to complete it. I haven't started reading it yet though. I'm almost putting it off because I know what a classic it is. I'm nervous about that. Then we have Secrets of the Silent Witch Volume 1, that is ish up to date. The 2 might have just come out. This was really neat. It's about a person who is a witch, and she has learnt how to do witchcraft without saying any words, but it's not because necessarily she's all powerful, even though she is. It's because she's really shy, doesn't want to say anything. Unfortunately, she's been ushered along to go to a school to keep an eye, I think, on like the prince or something who also attends school at this school, and she has to sort of pretend to be a normal student and keep an eye on him while not letting anyone know who she really is. And I quite liked it. I like fantasy magic school series. I think that might be another vice of mine alongside Villainess. Then we have Silver Spoon 1-15, that's complete. I managed to complete this year thanks to Travelling Man Misc sales. Look at that, clear run 1-15, and some of these were bought, yeah, half price, sometimes even a bit cheaper because they were doing half price and then 3 for 2 on top of that. I also see Silver Spoon volumes in their £3 sale bins sometimes, so absolutely do keep an eye out for their next sale. I've only read the first one volume. I've only read the first volume, and then yeah, I was missing a load, but now I do have them all. Yay! I had enjoyed it. I really like farming sims. Harvest Moon was like a childhood game of mine, and if you say which one, all of them. I played all the Harvest Moons, apart from the ones on the PlayStation. I played all the DS ones, 3DS ones, GameCube, Wii, Switch. Switch is more recent, but I played a lot of the ones on the DS especially. I love Harvest Moon, and I was really excited to try and read a series that is more realistic farming, in like actual farming, not just silly cutesy, here's one seed, plant a crop, it grows in 5 days. But I do need to read more of it. Oh, it's Silent Alice 1 and 2, that is a series for Ben. I'm not sure if he's read it, I can't remember. Very behind. I want to say there's 5 or 6 volumes out nowadays. Then we have Skeleton Knight in Another World 1, 6, 7, 8. So I feel like I'm working backwards with this, because I had 1, then I got 8, then I got 7, then I got 6. I assume I'll slowly one day make my way back to 1 and have a clear run. It's an isekai. It feels a little bit like a cross between Overlord and Goblin Slayer. It's a bit gory. Be careful about that. And he is also a skeleton knight like that. I don't remember much else because it's been a long while since I read volume 1. It was okay. There is also a light novel. We have Skip and Loafer 1 to 8. What an excellent series. I love this. Volume 8 genuinely made me cry. Like, actually sobbing, crying. I thought it was beautiful. What a lovely, lovely volume. It is about our main character here, who is sort of a country bumpkin kind of girl who moves to Tokyo to live with her aunt and go to school in Tokyo. And she is just, through her natural, cheery, wonderful disposition, manages to just draw people towards her. She's not fully aware of if she's doing potentially socially unacceptable things, but it doesn't matter because she's just being a nice, wholesome person who cares, really. And it's lovely. Very lovely. Oh, I absolutely recommend. I think there's an anime, but I would really recommend the series. And nice, colourful spines. So it's an extra plus. On our next shelf, we have got Skip Beat. We have 1 to 15, 17 to 34, and 36 to 41, and 43 to 48. Now, I hadn't actually realised till I was just coming down here. I'm missing 42 as well. But otherwise, I am missing Volume 16, Volume 35, and Volume 42. 16 and 35 seem to be trickier to find at the moment. They are in need of a reprint. But otherwise, I have managed to collect almost all of Skip Beat this year. What's even more wonderful about collecting all of this Skip Beat is it's almost all been under 3 for 2 pricing. Yay! A number of them have been bought second-hand, a number of them have been bought on Books Please, and then a number of them were bought on Sci-Fi. But for the most part, they were bought 3 for 2 price, which is absolutely wonderful, considering I think this time last year, if you'd asked me, would you buy Skip Beat, I'd be like, no, I can't. It's just, you can't buy it. Yet, here I am. Isn't this crazy? And this is all the fault of Liddy Moon. Liddy Moon made me do it. She held me down, made me do it, and also kept spamming links of cheap volumes she found. So I think at this point she might be missing similar volumes to me. I think she has 42, and I think she actually found a 16, but she is also on the lookout for 35. She loves the series so much. I can't wait to get into it. And if people are curious, I do believe some of these are reprint volumes if I go into the back of them. Oh, let's check. I wasn't going to, but let's do it. October 2022. And that is volume 1. So yes, reprints. So my hope is it'll just take a little bit and they'll get further on and do some more reprints as we go, and we'll hit 35 at some point. It is kind of sad when you go along and you can just see the volumes getting thinner and thinner and thinner, and then you get down here when it's trying to squeeze 48 on that spine, it doesn't quite fit down. Yeah, it gets a whole shelf now. All of that this year. Liddy! Skullface Bookseller Honda Sound 1 to 4, that is complete. I'd been missing volume 4 for such a long time and then managed to just see it for a good price, I think on Sci-Fi, and grabbed it. It's a fun read, it's comedy about working in a bookstore. I've only read the first one or two. It's okay. It's a pleasant read. It's not amazing though, but I did enjoy it because they sell like manga and stuff and it's just fun. Skull Dragon's Precious Daughter Volume 1. I haven't read it. I believe there are more volumes out though, so I'm behind. Slam Dunk, another series that I did not think I'd be able to collect, and then there's been like all the reprints. I actually got a huge chunk of this from Forbidden Planet Brighton when I went down there and saw Emma. At this point, I'm missing 5, 7, 10. Is that all I'm missing? Yeah, I think it's just those 3, 5, 7, 10, which is crazy. And again, all of them bought in like 3 for 2s or found online and such, and just, yeah, crazy as that. Reprint of Slam Dunk. And we have Slasher Maidens 1 to 4 and 6. I got 1 to 4 for Christmas last year, and I got 6 in the Travelman Warehouse sale. I haven't started reading it. I don't know what it's about at all. Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle 1 to 21, and that is up to date. I am not up to date with reading it. Some plastic. Not up to date with reading it. I'm still about here-ish. I really love it. Forgive all the dust. I really love it. I think it's silly. It's about a princess that's kidnapped to a demon castle, but they're all very fond of her and are very nice to her. And it's very cute. Really, really cute. And the teddy demons are absolutely adorable. She's a bit of a little shit, but I love her for it. Ben read some of it and hated it. He hated her because she was a little shit, and I was like, boo you, Ben. Slow Life in Another World. I wish. 1 and 2, that is behind. This is an isekai. It was a bit of a weird isekai, big on its slavery, which was super gross, so I'm not rushed to grab more of this. Maybe if I see some in the sale section, but it was a bit gross. Slumber in Beauty 1 and 2, I think that is complete, but I haven't read it yet. The Snake Who Loved a Sparrow is a one-shot. I think, actually, The Snake Who Loved a Sparrow and Snow Fairy, I think I got them both on sale from World of Books. Both one-shots that I haven't read. And we have Sneeze, which is an Urasawa. Ben's been on his Urasawa binge and was interested in reading it. In fact, the other night he was like, I really would like to read that Sneeze volume he's got. We should pick that up. And I'm like, we've got it, Ben. It's in the bedroom. Oh, yes, Ben. Then down here we have Snow White with the Red Hair 1 to 25. I'm not sure if that's up to date anymore. I had fallen behind for a while, and then I caught up with the volumes when I saw them in Forbidden Planet Brighton. I did like the series a lot to begin with, and it kind of dipped in the middle, and I've just not brought myself to get back into reading it. Apparently it does pick itself back up again. There seem to be a lot of people suggested it does dip in the middle a bit, so I am hopeful. I just need to actually bring myself to continue reading. As we have So Cute It Hurts 1 to 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, and 14. I'm not sure if 14 is the last one, or there's like 15 or 16 volumes. These have all been secondhand, pretty much. It's a hard series to find. It's out of print, as is a lot of shoujo beat. It looked very cute, and I liked the colours on the spine, so I started grabbing it, not knowing how difficult it was. But I do seem to find a volume every now and again. I actually managed to find, I think, like 7, 8, 9 altogether, which was pretty neat. So, slowly but surely, maybe, I guess. Thank you so much for watching part 13 of the Manga Collection Tour. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in part 14.